I cut out all the violence in this video.
Stop right there! Stop! Stop! Get on the ground, both of you! Lay down on the ground! Lay down on the ground! Who else is in the room?
Nobody.
Nobody else is in the room?
Nobody.
Nobody positive?
Nobody. Absolutely positive.
Okay. Okay, young man, listen to my instructions and do not make a mistake.
Make sure to also tell him that you're about to give him the most confusing instructions he's ever heard in his life, and he's about to enter into the most dangerous game of Simon Says. A game of Simon Says where if you fuck up, you don't just lose, you die.
You are to keep your legs crossed. Do you understand me?
Remember that he says to keep his legs crossed because his later instructions absolutely contradict this.
You are to put both of your hands palm down straight out in front of you. Push yourself up to a kneeling position. I said keep your legs crossed!
What does uncrossing his legs do? Is his legs going to pull out a fucking 1911 and shoot you, you fucking coward? If you're so afraid of a man uncrossing his legs, maybe you shouldn't have this fucking job.
I didn't say this in conversation. Put your hand! Hands up in the air! You do that again, we're shooting you. Do you understand?
Apparently they heard rumor that Daniel Shaver had a gun. He never did. And it's not illegal to own guns. Clearly what's going on is his pants are falling down. You can see them literally falling down. And he's pulling them up so he's not naked.
Do not shoot me.
Then listen to my instructions.
I'm trying to just do what you
Don't talk, listen!
You can literally hear in Daniel Shaver's voice that he's crying. He's scared. He doesn't know what to do. He cries out, "Please don't shoot me." Then the officer's like, "Then you gotta listen." To what? Your confusing instructions that make no sense?
Hands straight up in the air. Do not put your hands down for any reason. You think you're going to fall, you better fall on your face. Your hands go back in the small of your back or down. We are going to shoot you. Do you understand me?
Your mind is not trained to let your body just fall on its face like that. You're going to put your hands out. It's what's going to happen. Okay, so now he's being told that he can't put his hands down, right? He's got to keep them up. He's got to keep his legs crossed. And he's also, in a second, he's going to hear that he has to crawl towards him. Now, how are you supposed to crawl towards him if he can't put his fucking hands on the ground and his feet are to remain crossed the entire time? He has to disobey some of his instructions just to do what he's fucking saying. So his instructions mean nothing. They mean nothing. And what happens? His pants start to fall off, and he tries to grab them, and that fucking crazy-ass officer shoots him to death.
Crawl towards me.
Did you notice that hand gesture? Like, those instructions make no fucking sense?
Crawl towards me!
sir.
Right there, you can hear him audibly crying. Yes, sir.
Don't talk!
I posted this on Facebook, and there was a bunch of bootlickers saying that this officer was completely in his right to shoot him to death. A lot of people said that, and I was just completely dumbfounded. Like, everything they were saying to justify it didn't make any sense. One guy said, "Are you saying you can't walk on your knees?" Walking on your knees would get him to the officer so fucking slowly, for one. But the officer didn't even say walk. The officer said crawl, which I said before completely cancels out what he said just a few seconds ago, which was not to uncross your knees and to keep your hands up in the air. How are you supposed to crawl with your hands up in the air and your fucking feet crossed? It doesn't make any goddamn sense. I can't stress that enough. His instructions made no sense. He was in this deadly game of Simon Says, and if he follows the instructions, he dies. If he doesn't follow the instructions, he dies. And bootlickers are fucking defending this piece of shit. And this guy got off. This fucking piece of shit officer got off. And what if he wasn't sober? It's not illegal to be drunk, and it shouldn't cost you your life to be drunk. Okay, what if he was mentally ill? What if he just has trouble understanding instructions? Should that be a death warrant? According to these pieces of shit in the government and these fucking bootlickers, yes. Daniel Shaver did nothing wrong in that situation. He didn't break any laws or anything. They just happened to run into him. So if he was drunk, he had every right to be drunk. And if he was mentally handicapped, he has every right to be mentally handicapped. And or if he just has trouble understanding instructions that make no fucking sense whatsoever, he has that right too. Just because this officer's having a bad life or a bad day doesn't mean that Daniel Shaver needs to enter into the Squid Games and play the deadliest game of Simon Says that in the world's history. A game of Simon Says that's not even consistent or makes any sense. And you know what? Nobody rioted for Daniel Shaver. Nobody rioted. Because it wasn't played in the mainstream media. Why? Because he wasn't black. Oh, if he was black, this would turn out so much differently. But our racist-ass mainstream media and our racist-ass government doesn't give a fuck about white people. I thought all races were supposed to be the same. Apparently not. This is outrageous. This is unacceptable. And this happened in my state. This is fucking unbelievable. If you care even a little bit, please share this video. Share it on social media, Facebook, Twitter, whatever. Share it somewhere. Because more people need to know about Daniel Shaver. More people. Everybody needs to know about it. Everybody. This is a tragic incident that nobody knows about pretty much. And it needs to end today. And we need accountability.